coming out as trans and you're starting to understand and share your identity, it can sometimes feel like the loneliest thing in the world. Like you're the only one in the world that feels the way that you do. It's often when you find a person or two from the trans community that you begin to feel any sense of acceptance. Like there's someone out there who understands the way you're feeling because they feel it too. Meeting your first visible trans friend can change the way you experience and relate to your own identity in a profound and incredibly powerful way. When I first started coming out, this was definitely my experience. I felt more comfortable in myself simply for knowing that there was someone else out there in the world like me. Online, there was and continues to be a safety through trans community groups. There was a group of us who, because we started to transition around the same time, we shared experiences of starting hormones and seeing all the changes together. There was this group of guys who were so incredibly diverse in their experiences of life and with very little in common with each other except for this one small part of who we were as a trans person. There was this bond uniting us, a shared story threading us together, creating community. It was a sharing of our experiences and of our stories that would bring us together and empower us both collectively and individually to go on this journey. Last year, this group of friends of mine that started transition around the same time, last year one of these friends sadly and tragically passed away. It was evidence to me that despite our outward appearances, you never really know the demons that somebody's dealing with. It was a reminder to me that there's still a stigma and discrimination that we know that we as a community are up against. It was a reminder that there are still obstacles to be overcome. Not all acts of violence are direct or physical, but they all have a lasting and serious impact. In losing this friend, it was a reminder that we need each other, our trans siblings, for our collective and independent strength. We can't do anything alone. We definitely need each other and we need our community. During Mardi Gras this year, I watched from the sidelines as I saw the 78ers open the parade. It was a collective community history marching together, representing their story and their past. The story of the 78ers has been told many times before, and we're reminded of their story and of their struggle. Their story has been shared across generations as we remember what they stood for and what they stood up against in order to fight for their rights. I realised in that moment, though, that I didn't have connection to my trans elders or to a collective trans history. I didn't know the people who had come before me and helped forge the way ahead for the trans community. I wanted to hear their stories and to hear of their struggles so that we can remain committed to the justice and equality that we all deserve. I wanted to have a connection to this community's history, and we all need to know this history. And I guess that's what Trans Day of Remembrance means for me and what it allows us to do. We're able to reflect on the people who have fought for us and whose stories we need to remember. It's remembering these stories of those who have lost to the hands of the struggle that we find our strength, our independent strength and our collective strength. And that's where our power, our hope and our resilience comes from. It's a sharing of stories which we need to continue to do.